Super sub off the bench to win the game late and take Arsenal top of the table.
Yeah, it feels amazing. Been working hard for these moments, and today I got it paid back, and I'm just happy to help the team with that.
And what about your goal too? You watched that ball all the way when it was whipped into the box.
Yeah, I mean, it was a brilliant goal and a brilliant pass as well. So yeah, I think we train this routine quite a lot in training as well. So I know B or Bukayo or Martin, they love to play these balls. So yeah, it was a good goal.
You mentioned it there as well. You've had to show so much perseverance because the goals haven't come easy since joining Arsenal.
No, of course. Football is always hard work, and nothing comes from itself. You have to work and have to keep belief. I know it was tough for me the last couple of months, but yeah, I try to put my ego aside as well because the team is the most important thing.
And these Arsenal fans, this away support here at Brentford tonight, singing your name. How much do you owe it to the Arsenal fans for keeping patient with you as well?
I've been so thankful for these guys as well, because I know it's always hard when a new signing comes and they pay a lot of money for you, so they sometimes think it goes quite easy and quite fast, but yeah, I'm just thankful for all of them to keep supporting me.
Well done.
Thank you.
Arsenal top of the table. It really was clear at the end there just what that meant to him today, because it was a massive opportunity for them, Rio, and a test for them as well, which they had to pass.
Yeah, huge test. This place has been a fortress. Teams have struggled, big teams have struggled for a couple of years now coming here. Brentford have found a way of playing against big teams and really kind of nullifying their threats. And they've done that for much part today. And Arsenal, as I said before, looked quite laboured at times, of playing the ball quite slowly, didn't really get out of first gear in attacking areas. And the two moments they did, they looked at a bit of quality, got it out of his feet, Saka, and produced two moments of class. They had real goal opportunities, one of them turning out to be a goal. So Arsenal will be delighted with that. And again, there's nothing better than when seeing yourself as top of the league. No matter how you get there, you're top of the league, put your feet up on a Sunday and watch the other results come in.
Absolutely. Let's have a look at how they won it then, Peter. I know it was the assist that really stood out for you.
Yeah, just, being a player that, thrives off the back post myself, when you see that, your eyes light up. I know Havertz would have done it. It was actually great movement. Declan Rice, who I thought was magnificent, rightly got the man of the match. When you Havertz here, you look at his movement, he comes alive. He just knows just before he's about to pull his foot back and cross that ball, and he comes alive, makes his move really quickly, gets on the wrong side of the defender. But what a ball this is. He gives Saka that space. He's got a wand of a left foot, and your eyes light up as a striker. That's just perfection, a ball like that.
Sometimes when the ball's that good, it doesn't matter what type of defending. You can sit and try and criticise defending at times, but when the ball's that good and the timing of the run is that perfect, you can't defend certain situations like that, and that is one of those. It's a great ball.
And also, in the first half I talked about Jesus heading the ball down. Havertz was textbook there, just headed it down, so difficult for the keeper to stop that.
That reaction from Arteta with him at the end, it's obviously his player you brought in for big money, and for him to come under criticism, which he does quite a lot, then deliver like that, it sort of justifies the manager's decision, do you think?
Right, it's a big relief. I think you look at the situations and big moments in your career or big moments in the season, a lot of it, the emotion is relief, and I think that would be that there, satisfaction, relief, and listen, this is why you're here. Sometimes players can't come in and just be everything to everyone immediately. They can have moments that might be the catalyst for this next phase of his career of positivity and a real upturn in form. This could be that, and you're looking for one of those moments or situation. Hopefully this is it for Havertz, because he has fantastic ability, great potential. You just want to see it on a consistent basis, and sometimes you need that moment. We'll see if today was that.
And he's so versatile as well. He was playing a left back, left wing back for Germany in the international break, Peter. How much of a difference maker can he be for Arsenal, do you think, going forward?
Well, he's had big moments. He had big moments for Chelsea, Champions League final springs to mind. He's had, that again, that's a massive goal. But he looks like a confidence player, like a streaky player, if you like. I think if he, if that goal there can galvanise him, I think he could go on a good run now and be a decent player for Arsenal.
And a clean sheet for them today. Can we say that defence is now Arsenal's biggest strength?
Boring Arsenal. We're going to go back to George Graham days, aren't we? No, but I think me and Krejci were sitting there going, them two centre-halves, they look like they want to defend. They want to play 1v1 at the back, play a high line, be aggressive. They've got the best defensive record in the league, conceded 10 at the moment. And they look supremely confident. I think Declan Rice in front of them give them that platform to to kind of sit there and shore things up. But that little triangle is going to be so important for this team going forward, and if they're going to be successful.
The win percentage when Gabriel and Saliba start together is 75%. It drops off to 53% when they don't start together. What makes them such a good pairing, do you think?
Pace. Today's game, if you've got pace, you're ahead straight away. And I think that you can't play on the high line and really high and aggressive if you haven't got that pace to run in behind. And these two strikers here today for Brentford have given all teams problems. Not in this situation, this is nothing to do with the centre-half here, but for the last 2 seasons, Ivan Toney, Wissa, they've all given teams nightmares because their pace and their aggressive running. These two guys just mopped it up. One moment in this game where the strikers get the better of Saliba, who's there to clean it up and mop it up? Gabriel. And then he gives it back to Saliba and they get out of it. But they're a really good pairing. They're working into a great pairing at the moment. And to win anything, you have to have a really good centre-back pairing in this day and age.
Yeah, I think those two, because all the best teams, they're confident in their centre-halves 1v1. And with these two, you don't think that they're going to get beat. I mean, they're absolute. Wissa and Mbeumo are so quick, lively, difficult to play against. I thought they handled them really well. And even when those two are isolated, Declan Rice always seems to be in the right position. He carries the ball so well. He's almost like 2 central midfielders in there.
The 2 centre-backs, they'll be the reason why I would put them ahead of Liverpool in the title race to challenge someone like Manchester City, because I think them two, you can trust those two implicitly at the moment. They're bang on in form, and they only look like that partnership's going to grow the way they're playing at the moment.
Is it too simplistic to say they would have won the title last season if Saliba had stayed fit?
Yeah, it's difficult to say. I think Manchester City were well deserved the title, but it might have been closer, because on the evidence of what we're seeing now, it's like a real partnership that's here to stay. And they're so comfortable in 1v1 situations. They're calm on the ball. And of course, with Declan Rice in front of them, this is half the reason why they've got such a good record.
And the only thing is that I can add to that, actually, is that they don't mind coming in places like this and having to fight. That's the big difference as well. There's some players that when it's good and going well, they look good. These guys don't mind rolling up their sleeves as well and doing the ugly stuff, which is a real testament to them as a partnership.
Defences win your titles, so
yes,
they say.
Yes, they do, people. Yes, they do. Defences win titles.
There you go. And Arsenal at the
number
moment
9s.
have the best in the league. I'll let these two argue that out during the break.
How huge was that to find a way to win a difficult game and go top of the Premier League table?
Yeah, great. We are so happy. I think we fully deserve to win the game. I think the team competed extraordinarily well. We played and we had some big moments. We should have scored much earlier than that. But it's a really tough place to come. Credit to them for what they do, because they make it really hard for every team here. But I think we showed, a lot of resilience and a lot of belief. And we were really patient when we had to be, and we competed really well.
How pleased were you as well for Kai Havertz, of all players, to be the one to get that winner?
Delighted. You just have to see the reaction of everybody, how much they love him, how much he brings to the team, and it's what he needs to do, And today we believe that he could change the game in those moments, the way they were defending, and it was a perfect timing, perfect execution, and he won the game for us. That was big players too.
And you kept a clean sheet with Aaron Ramsdale in goal. All eyes are on him. How did you think he did out there?
I think I'm so happy with the team, that the way it performed. We got the clean sheet, and I'm so happy the way everybody played.
He was a bit nervy at times. Is that understandable, considering he was being taunted by the crowd at times as well?
I think the team was exceptional today.
And in terms of Brentford, how difficult did they make it out there for you to create those chances? You had a couple of goal line clearances as well.
Yeah, we made a huge mistake just before that, and then Gene, I think he was the one that clears it off the line. You need some moments like that. We need some moments that we should have scored more goals as well. But overall, you need things to go your way as well in those fine margins to win games.
Things have gone your way today, and you now sit top of the Premier League table, exactly where you want to be right now?
Exactly where we want to be, and we want to continue to be, and that shows in this league with the level that there is this season, and that the team is in a really good place. But you just have to see the behavior and the way the players fight and work and how much they want it, and it's a joy to work with them.
Thanks, Mikel.
Thank you.
Done.
Yeah, what a way to mark his 200th game in charge. More wins in that time than all the other Arsenal managers before him. What do you think of the way he's evolving this Arsenal team?
Yeah, well, they're a team, like I said before, they're full of character. They've got a resilience about them now. and they're doing the hard yards and the dirty work. They seem to enjoy that. And you see I said about relief, and you talk about when they get a result like they did today, you can see that there's a togetherness with this squad, and there's a belief in them. There's a steeliness that you need, and they've got players that are stepping up. Now, we said before, they haven't got that number 9 that gets them 20 foot like an Erling Haaland or a Salah in this team. So they're all going to have to be important at different times and get maybe 5 or 6 of them around the 10, 15 goal mark to have a chance of winning this league. But also the defence is going to give them a good chance as well. But the unity, I think, is the more impressive thing about this team rather than any individual at the moment.
Absolutely, and he does talk about individual players, but he seemed a bit reluctant to talk about Aaron Ramsdale. Peter, did you think?
Yeah, I think he's slightly bored of the subject, to be honest. We keep talking about it. I'm pretty sure Arsenal fans are bored of the subject as well. But unfortunately, it's not something that happens all the time. You got 2 kind of number 1 goalkeepers. No one thought Aaron Ramsdale really did anything wrong. Then obviously he's been replaced, so it is a topic of discussion, but not one that Mikel Arteta likes to talk about.
Do you think we potentially don't see him now in that Arsenal goal until the FA Cup in January?
I'd be surprised if Rowe is available for selection. I think I'd be surprised to see him until a cup game. I was going to say to you, Kai, do you think Ramsdale stays come the summer?
I think it all depends on how he gains.
If it continues like this and he doesn't play,
I think he's got to move on. I think the England manager said he wants to be part of the England setup, certainly for the Euros and going forward. He's got a stake on the number 1 jersey, but he has to be playing, and it doesn't look like he's going to be here.
Do you think he goes in January?
I'm the same as Crouchy. I think if he doesn't play the right amount of games in the Premier League, in the big games or Champions League as well, then I don't see Aaron Ramsdale coming. I think he's worked so hard to get to the top. His journey hasn't been it's been quite a unique journey. Different clubs, lower leagues, a couple of relegations in there. He's had that adversity, got to the top, and then now he's having to fight and climb again through no real fault of his own in terms of performance. So I think he'll find it difficult to stay here as a number 2.
Okay, well, this one would have been a hard one to take for Brentford. They kept the Gunners at bay until the 89th minute. Let's hear from Thomas Frank with Jules.
That must be difficult to take, losing the game so late on.
Yeah, of course it is. It is. That's the tough one in this beautiful game. We all love that we lose a game where I think we do so many things right. I think this is a game that should have been a draw. I think there was 2 chances to each team. We had the big one for Brian, a big one for Neil. They had a good header for Jesus for the disallowed goal, and the goal is scored. We managed to keep them very, very quiet throughout the game. Managed to keep Saka and Martinelli very quiet throughout the game. And then Saka had one fantastic moment, fantastic cross that decided the game, unfortunately. So this was a very even game. This should have been a draw. Either team could have won it. It could easily have been us.
Early on in the second half, and Buemo had that chance that could have put Brentford in front. Is it moments like those that you just have to take against opponents like Arsenal?
Of course it is. Those moments we need to take. And then unfortunately we didn't do that today. So this was another good performance from us. We have now played 13 games, 12 good performances. So is this we need to keep building us on. Of course, it's tougher to take when you lose in the last couple of minutes of the game. In a game where we did more than enough to easily get a draw, and it could easily have been us that won.
With Arsenal picking up all 3 points in a very significant game from the Gunners. We'll analyse it all, but we are going to head to a break. Before that, let's just remind you of how this Super Saturday has panned out, and it really has been a Super Saturday, with Manchester City and Liverpool drawing in the opening game to retain the top 2 spots in the Premier League table. Burnley, well, they went ahead, didn't they? But then West Ham came back with a Souček late goal to win 2-1. Luton, wow, their first home game of the Premier League season. They beat Crystal Palace. Newcastle, well, they had 8 senior players out through injury and for various reasons, actually, before the international break. And they came back with a bang, beating Chelsea 4-1. Forest against Brighton. Well, Brighton have scored and conceded in every single game this season. And that was very much the story of their game today, which they did win in the end, 3-2 away from home against Forest. Sheffield United lost out at the hands of Bournemouth, a big win for Bournemouth. And there you go, confirmation of our late results with Arsenal leaving it late to beat Brentford at the Seatech Community Stadium. Tomorrow the action continues. It's Spurs against Aston Villa. Everton, after their 10 points deduction, will play Manchester United. There'll be lots said about that one, no doubt. And then on Monday night, we've got Fulham against Wolves, who've had a really good season. And let's see what this all means for the Premier League table. Well, it is the bottom half there that you can see, with Brentford, who drop into the bottom half in 11th there, going further down the table. It is Sheffield United, Everton and Burnley who occupy those bottom three spots. But most significantly, let's have a look at that top half. And there you see it. Arsenal fans, that's for you. Top of the tree. What a moment, hey? 1 point above Manchester City, with Liverpool just behind and Tottenham in fourth. Of course, Tottenham have a chance to climb up into second as well, should they win their game tomorrow. Rated the two sides today, and hopefully we will hear from him very shortly. But from you guys in the studio, what did you make of it? It was a hard watch at times, let's be honest, but it was all about the points for Arsenal.
Yeah, I think Brentford do a really good job. They make it difficult for you, and Arsenal won at their best. But Brentford are a stable Premier League side for a reason. You know, they make it difficult. They play to their strengths. They're defensively a good side, and they play a lot of long balls and they work the channels. So Arsenal has to work really hard for that today. But I think they'll be delighted. Keep a clean sheet, win the game. Obviously, Havertz gets some minutes, and Ramsdale played as well. So I think everybody can be quite happy, really.
It'll be a very positive dressing room right now, I can imagine.
Yeah, of course, because again, you've won a game where you haven't played that well at all. But we found that a lot of Arsenal this season. But again, positive Ramsdale clean sheet, and no bit of an iffy first half. And Kai Havertz making an impact, because I think a lot of Arsenal fans are waiting for that. Well, 65 million. We know there's a talented player. I mean, Owen spoke about it. He's a big fan of his. You've seen he scored goals in Champions League final. He's a big game player, but it just hasn't quite happened for him yet. So you think on that performance, him coming and making a real impact, maybe this might kickstart his season.
It might do indeed. Well, let's actually have a look at Kai Havertz's goal. And also, Owen, why are you such a big fan of Kai?
Do you know, I actually feel a little bit for him, because he's a really talented player, but he's almost too versatile. He can play, midweek for Germany, he played as a wing back and as a left back. Today he came on, he played as a centre forward. Tell me another player in the world that would do that. He can play as a right winger, he can play as a number 10. But I think he has an amazing skill set. Technically, he's very good. I think one of his most underrated attributes is his heading. Physically, he's got a great size. He's in a great position at the back post. Just put it up there for him, and it's a really good finish. But I think at some point, I think Kai needs to specialize in what he's going to be. Ødegaard's the playmaker. Saka's the right winger. Martinez the left winger. Kai can play 5 positions. But at some point, I think somebody needs to say, Kai, we need you to play there. And I think if he plays there for a full season, he can be a brilliant player.
And where would that position be for you then, Owen?
I don't even think he knows. I think naturally he's at number 10, but Ødegaard plays there. I think he can play on the right, but Saka plays there. Yeah, I think it can be a very good centre forward for Arsenal. So I think at some point maybe Mikel needs to say, right, Kai, let's specialise. What we're going to turn you into. Right now, I think he's a Swiss Army knife. He can do a lot of things, but I think he needs to specialise, and I think he can be a special player.
Well, that's brilliant for a player to have such versatility, and great for the manager as well.
It is, yeah, but as Owen was saying there, it's probably working against him, because where the two best players in the team are Ødegaard and Saka, and they're probably his two best positions. But as you said, I think he can play centre forward. It's just about what works well for him. I think if you're going to put him up there and try and play the same way you play with Gabriel Jesus or Nketiah, you won't see the best of him. But if you get the ball crosses in the box, let him link play, then I think he could be a really good, certainly centre forward for Arsenal, as Owen was saying.
So in the build-up to this match, the spotlight, as we discussed, was very much on Aaron Ramsdale. And it was really nice to see those full-time scenes of the fans really supporting Ramsdale, and also his players and his teammates. He sort of had... It was kind of a tale of two halves for him. He had some bad moments and some really good moments.
But you know what? They didn't lose the game. And he made a couple of mistakes, but they actually didn't hurt the team. And that's the real positive, I think. Obviously, it was a big moment for him.